Okay, go.
Hey guys, my name is Ed Haynes. I am the head coach and founder of Coastal Fitness in Hong Kong, and we run the Process Programming, which is an online coaching organization.
Nice. So the next one, because this year all workouts are programmed by CrossFit HQ. So what is your opinion on it? Do you prefer or not prefer?
Yeah, I prefer it.
Yeah.
I prefer it because I like the standardization of testing. I think that's an important thing in the sport. I do love that CrossFit is constantly varied and it can test anything. But I think in terms of, at this level, it's important that athletes are able to benchmark themselves against one another.
Yeah.
And if the tests are always changing, then it makes it very hard as an athlete to benchmark against one another. I think there are disadvantages and advantages. I think maybe some of the disadvantages are the fact that because the weekends are staggered over different weekends, different athletes get. People in later semi-finals, like Asia, for example, have an advantage because you get to practice the workouts a lot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because you're only competing against your semi-final. But I think as a spectator, it actually makes it more interesting, right? Because if you've seen week one and you know what the events are, you know what to expect, you know the tests are, it keeps you coming back because you want to keep on seeing, like, is there going to be a new world record? What are the new standards? And so, I think it's a good thing.
Nice. So the last questions. Okay, so for Ant, you're the brother, sometimes you're the gym owner. How do you manage that? I mean, it's very busy for you, right? You have to manage the gym, your staff, and you have to coach your brother or coach an athlete in the world. So how do you make the time management stuff?
Yeah, great question. I think there's two questions there actually. One is, balancing my relationship with Ant, because we cross over in many different ways. It's like, number one, we're business owners, business partners. Number two, I'm also his boss in the gym. Number three, we're brothers. And then number four, we're coach and athlete. But I think, as the years have gone by, the better and deeper our relationship has become as people, the easier it has been to be able to navigate the different hats. And so a big part of that has been just communication. I think both me and Ant, when we came into the world, were not great communicators. We're very similar communicators in the sense that we were both quite emotional people. So if one person gets angry, then the other person gets angry, and then we would just butt heads. And that would happen a lot. When we were growing up as youngsters, we would argue and fight all the time. But I would probably say Ant is still a little bit more emotional than I am, a little bit more aggressive sometimes, and I've become a lot more passive and calm. So we're able to balance each other out. And I think for me, just knowing being clear when I'm wearing certain hats. So if it's time to speak as a coach and athlete now we're going to speak as coach and athlete. If it's time to be brothers, it's time to be brothers. If it's time to be a boss and and to tell you that you're doing good work or you need to step up your game, knowing to be clear in how I communicate that has been, has really allowed our relationship to blossom. So that's the first challenge. And I think the second challenge is, from the time perspective, when you have so many things that you're passionate about and that you care about, I think number one is I have a really great team. A really, really great team actually. And over the years, I've delegated a lot of the work that I used to do, maybe running the business, things like accounting, things like HR, things like marketing, things like that I'm not really passionate about, that you have to do when you're an early business owner. And as the business has evolved, I recognize where my skills and where my passion is, and then the things that I'm not skillful or passionate about, I find someone to take over that job for me. And it's been really slow, but we're a 15-year-old company now, so we've made a lot of mistakes in the past, we've learned from a lot of mistakes, and we've been slowly growing. And so now the tasks that I get to do every single day are genuinely things that I really, really enjoy. There's really nothing in my day that I don't like doing anymore, which is pretty special, a good place to be. Because there was many times in the past where I didn't like all the jobs that I was doing, but you just have to do it as a business owner. So that's number one. And I think just segmenting up my day every single day. I'm one of those people who is very organized with my time. So when I go to bed at night, I already know exactly what my next day is going to look like. Almost like to every single hour from waking until bedtime, I know what I'm going to be doing. And I don't really compromise on that, I'm a little bit flexible, but it's like, okay, this is time for programming, this is time for training, this is time for business and meetings, this is time to be a coach, this is time to be a family man, this is time to be a friend.
20 minutes a day.
this is time for 20 minutes. Which is what we're doing right now, by the way. Right now, we're killing two birds in one stone.
Yeah, alive.
But yeah, you know, just knowing, always planning ahead of time to know exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I think that's probably.
Okay, thanks, Ed, for taking your time with us. So yeah, we okay.
Yeah,
Good. Thanks, man.
That was a good talk.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Yeah,
and good to connect with you guys.